This is Sean with Gate City Foundation Drainage. We are on a job today in Greensboro. So let's take a look. We've got this existing creek bed here and a drainage basin there, but it stops right here. And so let's take a look at what's going on with the water here. And I'm going to talk about this in a minute. So we have a bunch of water that comes right down through here, and the water comes down from all these areas uphill, and the water comes down here, hits the fence, comes this way, and then when it comes right here, it pretty much just spreads out everywhere. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut a channel in here and make our channel, actually it's going to go right through here, and make it contiguous with what he's got there for a dry creek bed. Now the interesting part about this, check out that PVC pipe right there. So we actually caught these two gutters on the neighbor and took them into a drainage basin right about in there somewhere. And that took a lot of water off of this neighbor here. I didn't film this project because it was pretty straightforward, but that took a bunch of water off of him. And so it made things better. But then what happened is these guys here installed this walkway, and when they were cutting out the dirt to level it out, they threw all the dirt back in the corner right here. And that way we don't have to have this conversation ever again. And so let's take a quick look. So this high area right here around this tree, so what used to happen, according to the homeowner we're working on today, the water used to go across here and flow into that drainage basin. I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but once they mounded it up right here on the other side, it diverted all that water, and you can kind of see how mounded it is. That fence wasn't there, but there's a pretty good mound right there. And this homeowner here called the city and asked, you know, can they block their own drainage basin like that? And now all the water's going this way into that front drainage basin. And the city said they can do whatever they want to. So I know you all have different things in different areas, but around here, they don't seem to care what you do with your land and how it affects your neighbors. So we're gonna come in here, and now this is purely decorative. It's going to have water in it, but it's going to look a lot better than just water running all over the yard. So we're also, since we're here, we're going to catch this gutter here and Y into here and just dump it in the channel that we're going to do. Check out this video that the homeowner sent me of a really heavy rain, and you can see all this water is just kind of all over the lawn and everywhere. Part of this job was me picking up the remaining 2 pallets for the customer. So I'm over here at the rock yard, and they're about to get me loaded up. All right, I got 2 loads of decorative rock. This house was one of the last houses built in this area, and it's basically at the very bottom of everything. And so he even has a sewage pump that pumps the sewage up to the sewer up at the street. That's how low this house sits. And so a couple things to consider with digging this little channel here is we don't have a whole lot of fall in the front yard. The backyard is falling pretty well, but the front yard here, our set point is that front drainage basin. And so if I dig any deeper than that, I'm going to have just a low point and standing water. Typically, you would not want to do a dry creek bed on a really flat area like this, because it slows the riprap, or the stone slows the water down so much. But with this homeowner, I talked to him quite a bit, and any standing water that's left over after a rain does percolate really well in this area, so I wasn't too worried about that. And the homeowner was really looking for a more decorative solution here, and so I think we're going to solve a couple problems for him: the standing water problem and how it appears. So I think we're going to be doing a pretty good job here. And again, you see I'm not taking a whole lot off of there for this channel, and that's because I'm trying to mind my fall and not go too deep right here. The dirt that we're digging out from the front there and this channel along the fence, we're going to place back here, and we're trying to build up a berm a little bit so that the water will flow back into that back neighboring drainage basin like it used to, like it's supposed to. So we're trying to get that as well. We are making pretty good progress out here. I have got this little channel cut in for our dry creek bed. A couple things over here. He didn't want to disturb the river birch. So as much as I would have loved to have trenched this out, we had to leave those roots alone. And then also, this guy is a sewage lift pump. And so you can see how far beneath the street we are. So let's take a look under here. So that is a basin basically, and when it fills up with sewage, it's a pump turns on and lifts it to the street, to the sewage, the main sewer. So that is one check valve you don't want to fail on you. This is his existing channel here. And what he had done is someone had given him these riprap rocks, and he had thrown them in here. And he said that made things way worse because it stopped the flow of water through here. So we're just going to relocate him up on the back for him. The guys are working on getting some fabric cut, so we're trying to achieve a 4-foot distance across there. These piles I'm going to use to try to feather this out a little bit better. And back here, we're trying to build this up a little bit to divert the water that way as much as possible. So we're going to try to maybe straighten this line out right here and then put the rocks up against it since we have them. So things are looking pretty good so far. While I was digging the trench, the guys got all this piping in. So that gutter water is going to be completely contained in a pipe all the way. Now it's not going to be perfect into the channel there, but it's going to be a whole lot better than it was. As far as our pallets of rock go, the mini Bobcat won't pick them up, I don't think. So we're going to end up probably taking maybe a third off of there and throwing it in the bucket, and then hopefully we can get the pallet forks back out and it'll pick them up so we're not moving it too much. And we're just cutting a bunch of 4-inch strips right here. 4-foot strips, I mean.
It works well for the video. It really does.
How'd you do?
Doing good, boss. We give you what you wanted, I think. There's the other end of it, so.
Yep.
Sweet.
That's what we call a custom angle.
Custom angle. Let's get it. We couldn't show this lady yet.
We've got our pipes all running the trench, and the homeowner's got a low voltage line running there, so he's going to do some landscape lights out here. We had 6 pallets of these nice decorative stone, and the unfortunate thing is my mini Bobcat would not lift the pallet. So what we ended up having to do was basically unload by hand about a bucket's worth, and that's what we're working on here. So we're trying to get some of that rolling. Just a lot of manual labor here. You think it'll lift it?
I think it's gonna lift it.
All right, we're about to find out if it'll lift it.
So we were dumping these rocks out piece at a time, loading it onto the mini skid and dumping them out and laying them in place here. In this particular case, they just brought this straight off of the truck. So he's going to set this down, then he's going to pick up on one end and he's going to dump this for us so we can lay it right in this area here. All right, boss.
Bust, it'll get it. Chinese metal. No, it's alcohol. It is just really water too.
Watch your eyes.
Yeah.
I never saw that working.
All right, we're making pretty good progress here. And the homeowner asked us to take the rocks all the way to the fence. So we've got the extra rocks, and it's not that much more work to get it all the way down. It's gonna look really nice. You need some knee pads there, boss?
I appreciate it.
They're making pretty good progress here, and before they cut my path off, I wanted to get this little bit of regrading finished. So I threw a couple piles of dirt here, and we're just going to try to smooth these out a little bit. We are in the back of the big dump truck here, and I'm just going to get these last two pallets unloaded into the bucket, and then we'll get the forks back on here and carry the pallets back. We've got a little bit of extra rock here, so I figured we could take it from this point here and just kind of make that curve right there, make that sweep. So we're just going to dig this little bit out here and drop off the rest of that rock. we are finished with this job, so let's take a look. So up here we tried to build this up a little bit and try to get the water to continue that way, and then that extra riprap that he had, we kind of placed it up here. So another thing we did is we had some extra rocks, so we put it all the way up against the fence, which we probably should have done that in the beginning, but it looks pretty good. The homeowner took the fence down, and they're going to, I guess it used to be right here, and they're going to put it out to the edge of this. So they're going to redo the fence. And then out here, the homeowners pulled up what was down here originally, and they were cleaning it out. And so we had a little bit extra, so we went ahead and took it to that back corner right there. So it should look pretty good. I can't wait to get back out here in the rain. Let's get the drone up here and see if we can get some flyover. I'm back out here. It's been a couple months and we just got a massive windy rain, so I wanted to check on this riprap channel we did. I really like how the homeowner did these lights too. The homeowner did all these landscape lights. So take a look at what this looks like without my light on. Looks pretty good. When I first looked at this job, I definitely recognized that the yard flattened out pretty well. And so any kind of a channel you dig, when it's really flat like that, the water's still going to have a lot of trouble flowing. And you all know from watching my channel that anytime you put riprap in like that, it's going to slow the water down. And so because we didn't have a whole lot of fall going into the drainage basin, we couldn't dig it down much deeper than we did, because then we'd run out of fall to the drainage basin. So I explained that to the homeowner and said, this riprap channel is really going to be for looks only, and to help to get rid of some of the mud and standing water that lingers. And so once we got past that, the homeowner was good with, okay, let's make this into a nice decorative thing, even if the water is going to overflow it a little bit, like you all saw in the video just now. So that one worked out really well, and the homeowner did a nice job too with that landscape lighting. So that project turned out really, really well, and really going for looks in his yard made it look a lot nicer. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.